Hey, I'm Joe Mullikin, and I want to invite you to take this journey with me. So I'm guessing I'm probably not the only one that's been told at some point in their life that their story doesn't matter. Now, I don't mean that you've heard that directly necessarily, but I'm sure that at some point you probably heard something that made you feel like your story didn't matter in some way, shape, or form. And that's a lie that we have been sold. And we've been told that story either directly or indirectly at times. Like we've been told that, hey, somebody else has a story and their story is usually worse than yours. And when we hear that, we're like, God, my story doesn't matter then. And we've been told sometimes directly, hey, no one wants to hear your story. And then, like, we also have created a society and a culture where really the stories that matter the most are the stories that are the most grandiose or are the ultimate comebacks, right? You know, like the Robert Downey Jr. stories, the drug addict that redeemed their life and is now out doing incredible things. And while, yeah, those stories are incredible, I think we've created a society and a culture where we unintentionally downplay all the other stories that exist and therefore unintentionally downplay our own. And so we create this culture where if it's not the most grandiose and it's not from someone who's famous, then your story might not matter. But that's not what this is about. What this is about creating a space for everybody's story to be told. Because everybody's story matters. Because right now we know that we are the loneliest generation. Statistically, we're the most connected we've been, but we are the loneliest we've ever been. We are because we've told people that their story doesn't matter. We've told people that grind mentality, that grind culture, that we sit at home, we come back from our jobs, we come back from our lives, we come back from the things that we're passionate about, that we work really hard at, that we believe in, and we're exhausted. And we feel so often, I know at least for me, that I feel like I'm alone. And this started out as a passion project for me. I just started meeting with people and having conversations and hearing their stories because I didn't want to feel alone anymore. I didn't want to think that I was the only one going through something, the only one that had the issues that I had, the only one who was struggling with I struggled with. Like when you're a leader and you find out that you have ADHD or you're neurodiverse, you have clinical depression or anything like that, and feel like you're alone because, and how can I be a leader? I was assistant superintendent of a school district. How can I lead that? How can I lead a building as a principal if I have these, like I felt alone at times. And we know that we've told people, I know that you've probably heard this, you don't talk about three things. Don't talk about finance, don't talk about politics, don't talk about religion. And this podcast, to be clear, isn't going to be one where we sit and we talk about those things, but it's not going to be one either where those are off limits, because we know that between 26 and 44 right now, we see one of the greatest causes of suicidal ideation and suicide is financial instability and issues. There are people who feel like they're alone, their stories don't matter, and we've told them, shut up about finance. Well, what do we think? And then one of the other ones is having self-crises, having identity crises, having issues with reconciling who you are, what you believe, and it's really hard not to tie those things into politics and religion at times. So ultimately, we've created this problem, whether intentionally or not. We tell people, don't talk about these things in your story. There's other ones that are worse. So I wonder why we feel lonely. So here's the deal. What I'm excited about is that this is a passion project for me. I want to listen to stories of other people. I want to provide the space because their stories matter. Because they deserve to have the airspace and the place for their story to be told. And I can't wait to learn from it. I want to invite you to take this journey with me. The journey through listening to stories of success, stories of failure, stories of taking that leap of faith when maybe you didn't know, stories of people who have gone through that messy middle, through those hard times, those times where you say, and we've all heard it, it gets better. The stories of the people who talk about it gets better. And my hope is that I hope I resonate with some of my hope that is some of you that might listen resonate with those different stories, but ultimately the hope with all of it is that we know that these stories matter. And we also know too that life is way better done in community. It's way better to lose 27-2 as a team than it is to try and win 20-0 by yourself. And so that's why we call it Life Mentored, because these are stories of everyday lives. The messy middles, the goods, the bads, the wins, the struggles, the victories. told and shared through the lens of the people that might have impacted them or that they fed into as well. I'm excited for this upcoming journey. I'm excited for what's to come. I hope you'll join me on it, and I can't wait to provide this opportunity in this space for some incredible people like you and me who walk everyday lives to share their stories and to hopefully make us feel a little bit less lonely. Let's take this journey one more time. This is Life Mentored.